Hello and welcome back to the Level Up podcast.
Hey there. Happy Friday, people.
Yeah, it is Friday. It's episode 11.
11.
Yeah, it's moving on.
We're motoring right along.
So today's topic, excuse me, we want to ask some real questions and then challenge the way you think so you can grow in life and business. So I'm Dianna.
I'm Huey.
And today we're diving into a topic that everybody at some point, that hits everybody some point in life. Why do people hate on each other?
Haters. Y'all know who you are.
Exactly. And we've done a little impromptu stuff. So if people hate on you, it's often because of your light. You shine without trying, or your strength. You've been through storms and you're still standing. Or the third one is, or your peace. You're not competing, you're just minding your own business, and that threatens people who thrive on comparison. So that's the point of today. And could it be jealousy? Could it be insecurity? Is it projection of their own struggles? We'll unpack the root causes of hate and also share some personal insights about handling it when it comes your way. So if you're ready.
I'm ready. Let's dive right in.
Okay.
Let's get into the hate.
So the first question is, what do you think is the root cause of hate? Is it fear, insecurity, envy, or something totally different?
Okay, and also keep in mind, there's no right or wrong answer. I think most people in life at some point sort of experience, some level of hate. You're right, at some point of their life because of something. So there's no one answer. I think there's always a lot going on in people's lives, and so however you want to unpack your own situation, this is just how we're going to unpack ours. So what do I think the root cause of hate is? Is it fear, insecurity, envy, or something deeper? I've had a lot of opportunity to basically sort of dig into this whole topic because, I think it started with my folks. I had parents who hated on me. So, once you have folks who hate on you, you're not surprised when, individuals, non-relatives do the same thing. And what I've actually surmised it all to come down to is I think a lot of people who are unfortunately not able to live outside of their reality in their head are really upset when they see something else going on that they cannot see as being possible for them. I think that's the root cause of hate.
Yeah, I think so. So that kind of ties into insecurity or envy.
Yep.
So if they don't want to see other people doing better than what they think they can do for themselves.
Well, yeah, because it's debilitating to a lot of people. I mean, if you're trying so hard or your options are so limited based on your physical, intellectual makeup, and that you see someone basically coasting by in life.
Yeah.
Right? That causes resentment, I think, which is the root cause for hate. I mean, it's an oversimplification, but I could see it being an issue for a lot of people. Because life is hard. Life is difficult.
It's hard for everybody.
It's hard for everybody. So if you think you're doing the best you can, and yet somebody else is doing something, and you're like, they're no better than me, that ultimately, I think that's sort of like a spark or a catalyst for hate in a lot of cases. So, I don't know.
Okay. So question 2. Why do you think people find it easier to hate than to support others?
Well, it goes back to the whole thing. Like, if you're having a hard time in life, right? If you're going through adversity, struggle, if you can't find a way out of your situation, and you've actually resigned yourself to say, this is pretty good. This is the best I could do. Yet there's somebody who basically needs help to get to another level, yet it's way further than where your level's at. You have to be a pretty big person to step out of your realm and say, okay, I'm going to help you get better than I have. You're going for better than I have or that I could possibly attain. It takes a really special kind of person to basically say, I'm going to help you get to where you're going to go. Because chances are, and I mean, I think it's sort of like part and parcel for leveling up and success. If you're leveling up in life, you're going to another level spiritually, probably physically in a lot of cases, because they go hand in hand. And generally, you're going to enter a different level of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you're only as good as your 5 best friends. Who, like, if your 5 best friends are haters, you're going to be a hater.
Yeah.
You know, if your 5 best friends are millionaires or multimillionaires, you're going to be a millionaire. Like, it's just it is
being in proximity.
by being in proximity. So, you know, like, you stand the risk of helping somebody outgrow you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's a problem a lot of people have. I don't think it's personal. I just think they're sitting there going, well, you know, you're going to leave. I'm not going to help you to leave.
Yeah,
So
I think it's somewhat their own internal struggles that they've got going on.
Absolutely. It's all internal. It has nothing to, I've never taken hating personally.
No.
And most of these people don't know me. I'm a hell of a nice guy.
You are.
You know, but they don't like me because of what I represent, or what the maybe I represent lack in their life. I mean, a lot of people look at me and I think, yeah, sure, we've always, I think, been more or less on the happy, upbeat, you know, side. Everything has been fine.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't see me driving around a Lamborghini, right? So I don't get why I've ever received the level of hate in which I have gotten.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I'm not stupid. I know a lot of people basically, you know, sort of look at me and they see everything what's wrong in their life. However, that's not personal. It's not me.
They need to work on themselves.
They need to work on themselves.
Okay, so question 3. Have you ever hated on someone in your past? And if so, what was driving that feeling?
Have I ever hated on someone in my past? I'm not, like, I'm the kind of person, I want everybody to be happy and doing well.
Yeah.
Like, that's my nature.
Yeah.
I don't have a hater nature. My first instinct is to help people, help someone.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody tells me, and it could be a random stranger or somebody I've known for years, oh, I'd like to attain this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, well, is there anything I could do?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if I've ever hated on somebody, because I can't, you know, it's not, it would have been something I've done subconsciously, but I just can't see, like, I don't want to say absolutely not, because I'm human.
Yeah.
But, like, if you ask me, well, I don't know, you're my best friend, could you think of a scenario where I've actually hated on somebody? Or I don't even talk about people.
No.
You know?
I'm having a hard time relating to this question.
Yeah, exactly. You're like that.
Because I don't generally hate on people.
Well, we don't talk about people.
No.
We never talk about people.
I do just hope everybody's
I talk about idiots, like, seriously. If you're an idiot, you're going to hear it from me. And I'm not going to just say it behind your back. No. If you meet me and you're an idiot, I'm going to tell you, look, dude, you're an idiot.
True.
But short of that, I don't care what people do. I mean, again, life's not a perfect journey. No. Right? So everybody's got to sort of figure it out for themselves. So for me to sit there and hate on somebody, it's kind of stopping my progression. I got better things to do, right? Yeah. Like, and you definitely don't.
I don't have any time.
And that used to drive me crazy with you, because there were times when you should be hating on people. It's like, what are you doing? Well, no, they're nice. No, they're seriously, no, they're not. Really? You know, you try to find the good in everybody.
Yeah, getting better at that.
Yeah, you need to get better at that. But no,
it's a work in progress.
I'd say for the hard answer for that is basically I'm not a hater. I think life is too short for hate. I think if you could actually help somebody see another way than hate, I think that's
that's the goal. And I don't understand people that hold hate and all that stuff.
But it just doesn't make any sense. It's such a waste of emotion.
You're not helping yourself with anything.
Yeah, it's like drinking poison and expecting your enemy to die. Yeah.
So, okay, question 4. So let's talk about jealousy. People are often jealous for 3 main reasons, which is what we talked about at the intro. Your light, your strength, and your peace. So which of those 3 things do you think triggers people the most?
Well, this is the problem I have with this, and I'm not going to get long-winded, because, you know, we want to definitely keep this down to a limited time frame. But I have a problem with people basically making choices, which we're all afforded in our lives, and then getting mad at somebody else because of the outcome of their choices, right? If I've made choices, some dumb, some situational, and some brilliant choices in my life, right? And at some point, there's always been somebody driving by me in, a really expensive car. How could I sort of look at that person and basically compare my choices to them when I've never broken bread with them?
Yeah.
Like how could you be jealous of somebody? How could I?
A lot of people do that comparison thing, I find, where you and I don't think do.
Comparison is the killer to happiness.
Yeah,
because you don't know what that person did to get to where they are.
I've never walked in their shoes.
You have no idea what sacrifices they made. Probably stuff you wouldn't do.
Yeah, and likewise, you know what I mean? If somebody is wondering about you, if they actually sat down and talked, they'd go, oh, so you went through all this, or you did all this.
But you and I got the most ridiculous hate, like
just for trying to.
No, for doing nothing.
Yeah, for staying under the radar.
For staying under the radar.
And just trying to work on a business.
Just doing our own thing, and I, for the most part, happy about it. Just like, hey, like we could basically hang out, save money by sharing space, and then put all of this time without this huge. Fear of circumstance, because you keep it simple, right? So we could actually basically put everything into doing what we're doing, and we got hated for that. So it just tells me that basically it was never about you and I. It was about people. Kids say the darndest things. I heard some of the most obtuse, ridiculous stuff about me and you, and at that point, and it's like I didn't even bother, because at that point my take on it, because how I think is just like most people are idiots.
That's their perspective, right?
But it's idiotic. I mean, to not know someone, to just sit there and just make stuff up, right? I mean, while I'm not perfect, I could sort of look back at my life, and for me anyway, every decision I made was as a result of my situation or circumstance.
Well, and that's, I assume, is true for everybody.
Yeah, and last time I checked, I haven't killed anybody, so.
No, not at all.
Still time? No, I'm kidding. I know. Oh my God, I gotta hear about that. Just jokes. I'm not doing that.
So, I think for me, out of these three reasons, I think it's your strength that maybe triggers people into being jealous. Maybe they couldn't handle the things that you've gone through.
Oh yeah, there's no way they could. Most people couldn't. But, like I said, I have a sort of a mind that's, I see things 10, probably 20 steps ahead. And so I know basically, slide step here. Yeah. Okay. Next.
So question 5. So how can someone recognize when hate's directed at them has nothing to do with them, but everything to do with the other person's struggles? So I think we've already kind of tapped on that.
We tapped on that. I think most people spend too much time internalizing their misery, and realize, if more people were to realize life is temporary, like every situation you're facing is temporary. It only has the power you give it, right?
True.
The people who get it, if you sit on there and dwell on it, you're a victim of that circumstance.
Yeah. Like, or you could choose to think differently about it and grow from it.
Well, some people just believe in their own situation, and they really think that whatever's going on in their world is going on in everybody's world. And once you realize it's not, once you realize most people are not sitting there thinking about you 24/7, that when you're out of sight, you're out of mind, it really puts perspective on what you're dealing with, or what you're basically giving power to in your life.
Yeah.
All right.
So true. So question 6. Excuse me. What are healthy ways to respond when somebody hates on you? Should you confront it, ignore it, or just use it as motivation?
Okay, so how I deal with that basically is, and you have to keep in mind, I don't think anybody is basically immune to getting hurt from words hurt.
Yeah.
Right? Sure. Words hurt. Nobody wants to basically be told that, they're not good enough, they're inadequate, or they're this, they're that. okay, that there's a reason it's hate. It's the equivalent of basically throwing stones at someone. They, people we're human. We have feelings. So,
Mm-hmm.
but with that said, you have to sort of look at where it's coming from, right?
Yeah.
I don't see really happy, well-adjusted, financially secure people going around hating people.
No.
Generally, the people
they're just building themselves up and working on their own.
They're focusing on what
their life.
It's rare you see well-adjusted, nice, good people hating.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's a makeup of somebody's character, you have to ask yourself, am I in the right room here? Yeah. That's not the sort of person that is going to elevate you to another level. That's the kind of person who's going to basically try to pull you back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So to me, hating is just identifying a certain type of people that I generally have nothing to do with. Mm-hmm. Actually, my father used to call me arrogant. And I don't think it was arrogant. I just think I really had, like you, I like you. That's why we're friends for so long. We don't always get along. Heck, we'd never date, but your shtick and who you are as a person, I have total respect for you. Mm-hmm. Right?
Likewise.
And so, when it comes down to that, there are certain things that I think people lack. You have a great deal of character, sometimes you get into your woman, your woman math and the way you see things as a woman, but your character it's huge. And so I think there's a lot to be said for basically just finding people with good character who wouldn't hate, who don't think it's appropriate. Yeah. And if you're basically just hanging around with, a group of 3 to 5 people and they're sitting there and they're all hating on somebody else, guess mm-hmm. what? When you leave to go home,
they're going to do the same.
They're going to do the same thing to you, and so that's a never-ending cycle. So I really don't think you could, if you really care that much about your well-being, you will stay away from people who don't have kind words to say about others, because everybody is going through stuff in life.
True.
Nobody
knows exactly what people are going through.
Yeah, and so to sit there and judge them from your kaleidoscope, even though you have no idea of what that person is basically dealing with, mm-hmm. No, that's it doesn't make any sense. Hate is basically a choice. You can either choose to basically, beat someone up, or you could choose to be kind. And if you choose to basically, be a hater and to hate on others and it just says too much about the person to give them any kind of respect. That's my opinion. Mm-hmm. I don't have a lot of friends. The one I have is good, so I have a lot of acquaintances though, tons of those. But no, I think really basically, if you want to entertain that sort of thing, you're actually inviting the cancer in.
Yeah, that's true. And in terms of responding to it,
no, waste of time.
Confronting it's not worth it.
Well, are you going to respond to a barking dog? I mean, if a dog's barking at you,
let it bark.
Let it bark. Keep walking.
Yeah. And I think you got to see it as not motivation, but maybe in a little bit. But obviously, people are seeing something in you that's rubbing them the wrong way, which just might mean they're lacking that thing that you had that they're attacking you for.
No, but it's a huge motivating factor. I mean, if people are basically singling you out enough mm-hmm. to hate you, they're going out of their way to basically, you got something going on.
Yeah.
You're if you're triggering their insecurities, there's this whole saying basically, if you got a friend and that friend is actually with another person who hates on you, mm-hmm. that first friend's not your friend. Mm-hmm. Because
true.
They can't be, right? If that person hates on you and your friend is basically with them, mm-hmm. They're a secret hater.
Yeah.
They just don't hate you to your face, but because if a friend is basically not sticking up for you in private and basically, mm-hmm. saying, hey, well, no, don't be saying that about D, see ya, then, that person is basically eventually they're a closet hater. Mm. Right?
True.
Yeah, so that's what it comes down to. I really think it comes down to people who have the right character don't do that. Mm-hmm. And if they're doing that, they don't have good intention for you at all.
Okay. question 7.
7. Here we go.
Okay, so what can we do to prevent hate in ourselves to stop it from creeping into our own mindset and relationships?
Okay, well, I'll answer that and you get to answer. I think basically if you sort of take the high road, then you're not going to hate on anyone.
Yeah, you wouldn't hate on them anyway.
No. If you basically, have character and a sense of human decency, I don't think hate even comes into your vocabulary.
No.
You know?
Exactly. And yeah, because I don't think you can ever understand what's totally going on in somebody's head.
And to basically hate them
without
understanding or taking the time to understand or to care.
Yeah.
There's people, I've never broken bread with 99.999% of the people who had the worst things to say about me. Never even met them.
Yeah.
And then I used to see this there was this old saying, basically, if you have a problem with me, give me a call. If you don't have my number, then you can't have a problem with me. Well, you can't. You can't have a problem with me.
Yeah. Well, you don't know me well enough to have my phone number.
Thus you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me.
Which is very true, because you'll see people having these tit for tats on social media and stuff.
Yeah, but that's what you call basically armchair or keyboard warriors, and they're the worst kind, because at the end of the day, like, nobody cares what they would have to say on their own, but because it's something that I've never used to do before, I think, but over the past 6 months I read the comments.
Yeah, you always do. I never do.
I never used to, but you gotta try. Oh my, it's so fun. It's hilarious. And these people, they actually think that they're
having a relationship or something.
Yeah, it's all in anonymity. Most of them don't even have like a
real name.
They're all sort of fake accounts, but they're sitting there and they're writing. Some of them write books, and I'm just like, oh my god. I get great pleasure in that. It's fun. Yeah, and I'm just thinking, this is the section of society where they basically find validation in just putting it out there for anybody to basically
exactly. I always see so much negative stuff on social media.
But that's what it's for, though. I mean, that's when a hater can hate he can hate at the privacy of his own home, and without actually getting caught. It's just like free hate.
I see.
I have a hate date. I'm gonna go spew some hate.
Oh,
okay.
Goodness. So I think the only thing you can do is just focus on what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve.
Well, I don't think, the problem I think with people is that they would rather basically condemn someone than putting the work to basically elevate their life.
Or to understand where that person's coming from.
Which is what I do. I mean, anybody I basically meet or figure out, I just figure, okay, well, what are you about? And what are you trying to do? Where are you trying to get to? And and that's just basically how I was raised. I mean, up until 18, I had a terrific childhood. It was amazing, and I you know what I mean, I am quite thankful for that, because my parents, my mother, dad he's a doctor, but he's an idiot. My mother though taught me an amazing set of values. Amazing set of values. She was good. She's probably the reason
to you and JP.
She's the reason I am who I am today. It was because of her.
Partly.
So so I would never hate on. I mean, she could have had better parting style, but nonetheless, I'm here. So how much can I really complain? Exactly. But stop the hate. There's no reason for it. That energy could be used for so much more.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So just to wrap up, so here's the truth. Hate usually says more about the person giving it than the one receiving it. So I think we've already touched base on that.
Yeah, for sure.
So if people hate on you, it's often because of your light.
You're special.
Yeah. You shine without trying. Or your strength, you've been through storms and you're still standing. Or your peace. You're not competing, you're just minding your business, and that threatens people who thrive on competition, which is a huge part in today's world.
Huge.
So the key is not to let hate dim your light, break your strength, or disturb your peace. Keep leveling up and let their hate be a reminder that you're doing something worth noticing, which is Huey's already pointed out earlier in the podcast. So thanks everybody for tuning in to episode 11 on the Level Up Podcast. And if you got value from the episode, please share it with somebody who might need to hear it. So until next time, keep your focus, protect your energy, and always level up.
Level up, yo.
Okay. Have a great week.
See you guys next week.
Take care.
Ciao.